What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now. And dig this, man. I have a brother on today that is doing some stuff that most people think is not possible, but he's actually getting it done. And that brother's from Los Angeles, representing Inglewood. His name is Jeremiah Benjamin, but if you find him online, he's going to be known as Flip. Flip, the hood technologist. He's originally from Los Angeles, representing Inglewood, California. He's a 3D modeler by day, but he's the creator of the Fliptendo electronic line by night, or by day, by weekend, by every other time that he's not that he's not doing 3D modeling. But he's also a youth advocate and influencer, and more importantly than all of that, he's a father. So, fellas, and I know some ladies listening too, but definitely fellas, let's welcome my man Flip to Black Fathers Now. What's going on, my man?
What's up, man? Everything is solid. Everything is good, man. Feeling good, doing good. Glad to be on, man. Appreciate it.
No doubt, my brother. No doubt, man.
And you said some good things about me, made me seem a little important and everything.
Whatever. Dude, when folks find you online and see the stuff that you're doing, it ain't about seeming important, brother. You are important. You're making it happen. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But long story short, man, you know, I came across you online. I don't even know how I found you on Instagram, but we were just scanning through, and I saw this brother with this Fliptendo VR headset, and I saw the name Flip the Hood Technologist, and I'm just like, hold up, did this brother build a VR headset? And then I started looking more into it. I'm like, he actually has VR headset and VR controllers and all of that stuff, and he's selling it, but he's doing that in the community. My man, take us to how this came about.
All right. I guess I'll start from the beginning. Maybe September of last year, September or November of last year. I mean, just by trade and stuff, like I'm always into the latest stuff. Always got the latest electronics or whatever. And just as an entrepreneur, just with an entrepreneur spirit, they always tell you like to go into what you're passionate about or whatever. I had not figured that out. Like I knew the roadmap, like go into what you're passionate about, but I had not linked the two, like, you know, I hadn't linked the two, electronics with like you selling something or producing and manufacturing something. Mm-hmm. Like most people, it's kind of like a separation. You think it's sort of impossible to, if you don't really understand the inner workings of electronics or things like that. Like you think it's impossible to manufacture or get your own stuff produced. So anyway, fast forward, I get the Samsung Gear VR. I had to buy a new cell phone, which was my Galaxy S7, and the phone cost me $400 or $500. And they came with their VR headset. Well, the VR headset cost $120 more, which was the Samsung Gear VR. So after experiencing it, I came home with it, I played it. And my first night, I remember sitting up in the bed, my fiance and my daughter are next to me, and I'm literally sitting in the bed. They're asleep, and it's 12 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just sitting there in a whole different world. Like I'm in a whole, it's completely pitch black in the room that I'm sitting in, but inside of the virtual reality headset, I'm in a lit room. It's completely white. And I'm playing a game and everything, and just the experience of it all, just the ability to look from side to side, up and down, to look behind you, and yeah, when I look behind me while I'm in the virtual reality headset, it's not a black wall. It's I'm in this lit room. Like when I
Wow.
look to the left and right, I'm in a lit room. So I once I experienced that, yeah, I have a bunch of little cousins. I have a big family, so I have a lot of little cousins, and when I pull up, they always expect me to have something, whether it's money, whether it's toys, whether it's skateboards. You got a skateboard in your trunk?
Like
You got
Uncle
something
Flip coming with something, right?
with something. You're not coming empty-handed, brother.
Uh-huh.
So I remember just letting them experience the VR headset, and they're smart enough to understand it, but after a couple of times over there, they wouldn't give me. First of all, they wouldn't give me back my headset, and the headset needed my phone. So every time I'm at my grandma's house, I'm phoneless. Like I can't use my phone because you guys need it to play the games that's on the thing. So what I did realize that day or those days was I could afford a $500 phone. I
Mhm.
could afford $120 headset. That's fine by me. I did know that they couldn't afford it. I did
Mm.
realize that they wouldn't be able to experience virtual reality like I was able to experience it, just based on the price point of it, and not to mention that Samsung kind of the way they built their system. Once you plug your phone into the headset, it automatically takes you to like their platform, which was
Mm.
Oculus. It's powered by Oculus. So although any phone can download virtual reality apps and virtual reality games and experiences, Samsung locked you into using theirs.
Mm.
So if you had a phone that wasn't a Samsung, you can download apps, but you couldn't use the Samsung headset. You couldn't use their
Wow.
VR headset, and that was a little weird to me. Um, so I seen that Google made a VR headset out of cardboard, but
Really? Hold on.
Google,
Rewind. You said Google made one out of cardboard.
yes,
Was it like
where
a competition or something, or just some random person did that? How did that come about?
no, Google made theirs out of cardboard. First of all, the technology behind mobile VR is simply the lenses. Like it's okay. So your phone splits if you ever download a VR app and you turn it on, your phone splits in half. It basically becomes two halves, and you have these lenses in your phone that just perceives the two halves and kind of converges that image into one image.
Okay.
And then like with your gyroscope in your phone, it can tell when your head is turning or when it's moving. So based on that, all Google needed to do was put those lenses inside of a cardboard.
Hmm.
But but the cardboard lacked functionality so far as like on the Samsung Gear, there's a button on the side. It's kind of like a Cyclops
Yeah. Yeah.
button that kind of push, and that's to shoot, like to shoot objects or to grab something. Google Cardboard lacked that sort of functionality, so it limited the amount of like experience you got to have with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, it didn't have like a strap that let you always had to kind of like hold it up to your face with one of your hands. So
Okay.
it was sort of like binoculars with
Oh,
the car.
gotcha.
So what I did realize is that if they can make it out of cardboard, then it can be made out of plastic. A
Mm.
version of it can be made out of plastic, and it was simply about figuring out, like, finding a manufacturer. Where then could I get me a set of VR glasses manufactured? Because what I did know is Samsung was missing out on a lot of customers because they pigeonholed you into using their kind of like software. You had to buy their phone in order to experience
Yeah, gotcha. That's the hook for
it.
them.
or you would have to use a Google Cardboard where you lack functionality. And somehow, if you were able to create a VR headset that gave you the functionality and allowed you to use any phone, because with the Google Cardboard, you can use any phone that you have. You can use an Obama phone or whatever. You can use any phone that you had. So my little cousins had cell phones. All of them have cell phones.
They just didn't have the Samsung.
Exactly. To be able, and even if they did, they definitely wasn't gonna have $120 more to put with that cell phone to get the VR glasses. So China. I knew that China has manufacturing factories. I knew that they have manufacturing warehouses. So the whole thing was to get in contact with China to see if anybody there was manufacturing or making these VR glasses, or whether they were making versions of them. Because what you do understand about China is that, or just manufacturing factories in general, if they've made one version of it, they have the equipment to continue to produce them, no matter what kind of specifications you add or anything. Like, we have the machinery equipped to make them. So that was my thing, to find a manufacturer that had the correct equipment to be able to manufacture.
Hold on, stop for a second. I mean, we got to pause for just a second there, because there are 2 points that stood out to me. All right, first off, your mind, and this is where I say you're special, because most people won't think of it this way, and maybe I want to know if it's tied to your actual profession as a 3D modeler. But you said if they can make it out of cardboard, I know that it can be made out of plastic. Is that because on your day job or during the day you tend to work with 3D modeling, so you automatically have this mindset of thinking of plastic or molding things in a different manner just due to your experience? Do you think that potentially led into your thought process of thinking that's an even possibility?
I would say no. I would have to say no. Like, because at my job we deal with structural buildings. Like, I work for an engineering company, so we build buildings and everything with our structures. That came from just.
It's just interesting. It's just interesting because it's just like, when I see something cardboard, my mind does not automatically go to that could be made in these other types of materials. Let's go figure this out. It's like, what would inspire you to even go to that place based on something? Because it had to be some experience or something in you that even allowed you to trigger to say, like, that could be made in plastic. You know what I'm saying? It's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, the fact that, okay, I know this. Anything that's counterfeit is actually, in my mind, I knew that before. Anything that is considered counterfeit is still made with the same machines or anything. So even if there was a counterfeit Samsung Gear VR, like, there is somebody equipped in the world to manufacture these things. And I knew, and that was the biggest thing I would say, is knowing what region to kind of find or to target to figure out, like, hey, you guys are making these, right? Or you guys can make these. So I knew, if there's a hot toy, if there's a hot commodity, China is making it.
Somebody in China is making it. That's right.
China is not going to miss out on the ability to capitalize on, because we have the factories. This is where Samsung gets their things made. But, like, we don't only work for Samsung. We work for anybody. And that's why I would say my name is the hood technologist, is because I know how to implement technology to my favor. I know how to implement it into my ideas, or just utilize it to help me be more efficient, to help me be more effective. And this is where yeah, and this is where the internet comes in. Like 10 years ago, it would have been really hard for me to find a manufacturer in China.
That's right.
But in today's day and age, man, get on Google, type in manufacturers in China, you're something is gonna pop up. So it just takes a little bit of research and using what you have at your fingertips, like
That's big.
using what technology has now offered you since it has advanced. And now these people are nothing but an email away. These people are nothing but like, a message away from getting in contact, and they're set up to service you. Like before,
You know what's so crazy? I mean, I'm just sitting here. My mind is wondering because there's a father out there who's thinking about an opportunity. There's a to-be father who's trying to figure out how can I generate some more revenue. I got a new baby on the way, whatever. And to your point of utilizing the resources that you have available, using the technology that's at your fingertips, but even as simple as any product that's in your house, flip it over, no pun intended, but flip it over, and where is it manufactured? And to your point, you figure out where this bad boy's manufactured, and I can go straight to the source. You just said it's just an email away. I don't know if you remember the movie American Gangster. You remember Frank Lucas was in,
Yep.
he was just like, no, I want to go to the jungle. Y'all, no, take me to the jungle. And I think about that, not obviously in this particular case with that particular product, but when you think about that whole premise of we can get to the jungle, we can get to the source just an email away, a click away, but you just got to do the due diligence, use the resources you have available, and make it happen. Brother, that is deep. I'm over here just like I'm taking notes, and I'm like, man, I'm about to use this stuff myself. I love this, man.
And how many people actually, and to go a little deeper than that, it's what happened between the Samsung and the Google. When you identify that you can make something like that, something is lacking something, or like you identify opportunity, I can make this better. Where they're missing a point and they're missing a point, like, yeah, I can go about producing my own. Never settle for waiting for something to come out to service you. Anything that you utilize in today's day and age, no matter what it is, whether it's an Amazon Fire Stick, whatever it is, you can make your own version. You do not have to settle for their versions or waiting for them to produce, because basically what you're waiting on is for somebody else to capitalize. For a bunch of people that feel just like you, you're waiting for somebody else to take the opportunity to capitalize. And when you can actually go about yourself and capitalize without waiting on them. You don't have to wait on them to create a product that you can go about creating yourself. And even if you don't do it yourself, if you got the idea, band with some brothers, band with some sisters, band together and somehow produce y'all own to where y'all now have ownership of your own product. Y'all have ownership of your own physical thing. Because I guarantee you, the person that listens to this podcast and goes and looks up manufacturers in China, you will then realize China does not only make electronics. They make shoes, they make clothes, they make everything that you experience in your daily life. Everything, baby toys, anything that you're utilizing, they make it. They manufacture it in China. You got to figure out which manufacturer to somehow contact, and then, shoot your shot. And the thing about it is these manufacturers are now set up to service you. Whereas 10 years ago, they were only set up to service big companies. They were only set up to service the Samsungs and the Apples and everything. Now they'll take your order. We'll talk to you. If we can get 50 people that's making their own thing, we don't care. We're just producing. We're a manufacturing company, and whereas they might keep us busy for 3 months out of the year, we got to find a way to utilize these machines day in and day out. So they're looking for people just like you that got your own idea. Now, whether you got enough belief in yourself to now come on this side and sell it. Anything you get in America or you produce in America, I promise you, it's 10 times less expensive. Like even the packaging that comes on the Fliptendo. If I would have got that packaging done in America, yeah, it might have cost me uh $4 a package, $5 a package. In China, cardboard boxes cost you 10 cents,
Wow.
20 cents, because we're set up. We have everything here already. You want to utilize some of this stuff, like, yeah, I need some of those boxes. I need some slip covers, and they treat you just like they treat the big company. Provide us the images you want. Provide us and then you go about doing your own branding and all of that stuff. But yes, you are completely in control, and you can, like, don't settle for experience and things. So to get back on track, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I didn't settle for waiting on somebody to come out with a headset
It's
that
in
would.
between the cardboard and the Samsung. You figured out how to bring that to market yourself.
And not only to help my little cousins, now I know it's thousands of kids just like them that have
Mm.
cell phones. Now this becomes it became very clear at that point. This is where your entrepreneurial thing meets your passion.
Mm.
Like you now have identified the opportunity, and don't wait for somebody else to capitalize on it. You go about it yourself and try and start your own business. Try and own your own product to then now you have the ability to do what entrepreneurs do. You identify a problem, you solve the problem, and you sell it to everybody else that got the same problem as you got.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, that, that's exactly what
Identify.
I do.
Look, identify the problem. You solve the problem, and then you sell it to everybody else who's having the same problem that you're dealing with. Brothers,
Exactly.
that that is wisdom.
Straight
Identify
up.
the problem, solve the problem, and then sell it to everybody else who's dealing with the same problem. Y'all need to
Yep.
put that 5 seconds or 10 seconds on repeat and embed that in your brain and your soul and your psyche and understand that. That's the core of business. That's the core of
Yep.
creating wealth, creating opportunities so that you can basically do things the way that you want to do them, and you can then focus on things that matter in life. That's the
Yep.
whole key, man. So I don't want to interrupt anymore. I want to finish your story out here. So therefore, you identified opportunities or manufacturers in China, and you kind of went back and forth, and you created the Fliptendo VR headset through your connections in China. So talk to us about that process. Like, how did that go?
All right. I found a manufacturer that was already creating headsets. They were already creating like generic little headsets, and it was like, okay, but now, like, I need to make it mine. I need to find a way to, like, stand out. Like, you now have to identify what'll make you different from the competition. Now like, all right, I'm in a competition now. Like, if I say
Mm-hmm.
I'm different from this, what am I offering that's different? And the Google Cardboard and also the Samsung Gear. If you buy them and you put your phone in, you got to plug your headset in, your earphones, your wired earphones. You plug them into your phone. They come out of the front and they run down the side of your face or whatever. And like now you got to put them in your ears. Now it looks really weird. So it's like I need one with headphones. I need
Mm.
one like I want y'all to add headphones to mine to the side or whatever. And as long as the manufacturer is equipped to be able to do it, they'll do it. They'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you, hey, we need a minimum order quantity though. You're not going to get us to make a specialized product and you're just going to order 10 of them. Like
Uh-huh.
that's a waste of our molds and everything. So if they was like, if we make you a mold, you have to order a minimum quantity. So it's like, all right. And that's when it then becomes serious. It
Mm-hmm.
it now becomes, do you have enough faith in yourself
That's right.
to
To put the
put
money up. Yep.
for real, because that's when the rubber meets the road. You can come with the idea and strategize and all that, but when it's time to
Put the
pay that
money up.
invoice,
That's it.
yeah, and then you find out about that shipping and handling from China and everything. Oh, because they got me. They got me. I paid my little 30% deposit or whatever, and I knew just based on how much it cost and everything, I had my price figured out. And they sent me the full invoice, like, this is the remainder. And it was like, whoa, no, I didn't do my math right or something.
You forgot that shipping and handling, brother.
Yeah, and different fees for how you want to pay and everything. It was like, yeah, every little dime then mattered. It was like, no, it was almost not a Fliptendo that night. That night, it almost got, the whole idea almost got scrapped. It was like, no, I can take that 30% loss or whatever, like, but like, I'm not going to send them people this much money, like, for real, like, I can, no. And I spoke with my pops. I went to my pops and I told him or whatever. And yeah, my pops just told me, he said, have faith. Just have faith. Like, you believe in it, you know. And he knew the idea and everything. I had already had pre-orders and everything. People was waiting. They hadn't paid their money, but it was Christmas time coming.
Oh, perfect.
And based on what they had quoted, I knew what I was going to charge for them. Like, I knew, like, all right. And that's another thing. Samsung wanted $120 for just a headset. No earphones, no controller. I was offering headset with the earphones and the controller for $65. I was like, this is perfect. But initially, I told everybody it's $60. $60. But when I got that invoice, it was like, it's no way you can sell.
Yeah, you got to jack the price a little bit. Yeah, you got to make a little bit of a profit there, brother.
And then it became how I'm going to go back and tell all these people. That's what the conversation with my pops was, how I'm going to go back and tell these people, like, and now I got to order them just to take a loss because I made promises or whatever. He was like, man, ain't no, and all I had to do was raise the price $5. But it was still the point, like, you a new black business. You came out, and you know, and we know our people.
That's right.
Man, if you give them if you give them an excuse to kind of, you know, get
back
some
out, then, man, come on, dude, you preaching to the choir, my man. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's the funniest thing though, because you know we sit back and it goes back to what you were talking about. You have faith in the idea, faith in yourself in regards to doing it, and when you really step back and think about it, you're only talking about $5. And, you know, going from 60 to 65, but yet the new Jordans come out and they won't blink to drop $250 on a new pair of kicks or the new Yeezys or the new whatever. But yet
not 1 second. The iPhone come out, we'll stand in line.
Stand in line for 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's funny.
But it was something. It meant something to me to offer it at a price like you know, $60 is a price that like you can't beat. Like for the first of all, the controller that come with the headset, you can just play with your controller and your phone. It got a clip to it where you sit your phone on top of it, and even if you're not using the VR headset, they got plenty of games. They got more games for just the controller for you to play Need for Speed and Sonic the Hedgehog,
on your
NBA
phone.
Jam. Yeah, you can just put your phone sideways, start playing those games with the controller. But it meant something to offer all of that and it was Christmas time. And I knew it's going to give y'all a break. Instead of y'all having to go buy some big-ass toy or something, like, and I knew I needed to package it in a way or whatever that would give parents a way out. Like, this holiday, y'all want to give, and y'all don't y'all don't gotta spend $150. Y'all don't gotta spend $200. Like, here go a VR headset, a controller, and some stickers. Put the stickers on it. Do what you want to do with it for $65. And then it rolled. Once I got the order, and everything ain't easy. Once I got the order in, they shipped the whole thing. I received all my things. I was missing my box covers. Like, I just got white boxes. Like, I can't just go give, like, the people is waiting. I literally got I got the shipment in maybe on, like, Christmas is coming. Everybody is waiting. You go, so I got the shipment maybe the 15th of December.
Oh, wow. You cutting it close, brother.
And no cover. Wow. No cover. what are y'all doing? Like, I can't even give them. So, I mean, I had a laser cutter, and I knew certain people was on me. So I knew, like, these 10 people, they got to get theirs. So what I did was, and the crazy thing is, 10 people have personally signed Fliptendo. Like, they have a personal message written on the top of their box. With, like, I had a laser cutter machine, so I knew how to use vinyl. So I cut me out just the name Fliptendo, and I put that on the box, and I pressed it. I pressed it on the box, so it was a plain box. It had the logo on it, and it had a personal message from me written on it. 2 days later, I got my slip covers.
But look, those 10 got the special limited edition Fliptendos, and I'm gonna tell you, once you sell, millions of Fliptendos around the world, those 10 are gonna be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. With my handwritten signature and a handwritten note for me on the top of your box. And I told him when I gave them to her, you might want to keep this. Like, you might not just want to throw this box, away. You might want to put it up somewhere just in case. I end up, being what I visualize, is going to happen. And I believe they did. I believe those 10 people did put them up somewhere. So, I mean.
That's all. Now, so, and I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so the idea came in September, October-ish. By December, you had product in hand after communicating across the water in China to get it manufactured and, to the specifications you're looking for. That is a short turnaround. Like, most people think something like that. I'm saying all of this, and I'm walking back through this so the brothers can hear that, fellas, this is a brother like you. He's a father. He has a fiance. He's a brother from Inglewood, California, that recognized opportunity, and he capitalized on it. He had faith in himself. He had faith in, just the whole premise that he was enough. And he saw an opportunity that was in the middle. Like, most people would see Samsung and Google and say that, you know what, Samsung and Google got this whole thing locked up. This brother said, okay, Google has this thing over here. Samsung has this thing over here. And we're talking about two multi-billion-dollar multinational companies, right? But he noticed that there was a gap in between the two. He jumped in that gap right there. This is a brother that looks like y'all, fellas. He looks like y'all. This is your homeboy. Flip is your homeboy.
Straight up. That's for real.
Straight up. And I said that to say, because the whole concept of Black Fathers Now is bringing the village to the brothers. And the village comes in the form of wisdom, inspiration, insight, but also experiences, man. This here is like this light bulb moment that you need to really take and think about. This brother, this is your homeboy. This is, your homeboy y'all were kicking it with last week. He is the one that found an opportunity between Google and Samsung, and he's filling a need, and he's doing so at a price that is actually helping parents out. Man, dude, I'm sitting here geek, man. This is real. This is real.
Yep. And technology helped me accomplish that. Like, most people would think, oh man, that idea take me a year and a half to and because of that, I was talking to the dude yesterday on the podcast. He said, you don't know how many times I talk myself out of stuff based on what I perceive. And yet those perceptions can actually get you to just renege or just not go through with certain ideas. You're right. It took me 2.5 months to bring something to light. But it was some hard work. It was every day I was going to work every day. But China doesn't wake up until I get off of work. China's time is 7 o'clock out here, 7 at night, p.m. is when they were starting work. So every day I knew, like, at 7 p.m., you need to be talking to Gloria. That's her name. You need to be talking to Gloria. And me and Gloria will go at it. And the thing is, it's a little bit of a language barrier. Like, she spoke English, but I used to have to repeat myself to make sure she completely understood what I was asking for or send pictures or whatever. So we would Skype literally every day. And Like, yeah, your company deals with people that want, 5,000 pieces. I'm not ordering 5,000 pieces, but like I need the attention of the person that is ordering 5,000 pieces in order to get like what I need accomplished. And just, yeah, and by the grace of God, she was able to deal with me in that manner. And yeah, 2 months later, I was able to, because I knew I need to have this by Christmas. This is the perfect Christmas gift. This is going to relieve, and that was my thing. This is going to relieve the people of my family, my aunties and all of that's about to, y'all about to go out and spend that bread. Like, these kids have already expressed that they love the VR headset. They won't let me leave without mine. So here goes you guys' version of it. And yeah, and I kind of knew, like, y'all need to get used to supporting black business.
That's right.
Y'all need to kind of get in tune with, like, buying stuff from black people that produce stuff, like buying stuff from businesses that go about it. So my family, since they're big, it's just like when Uber released it. Like when Uber released, they tested it in San Francisco first.
That's right.
And once it worked in San Francisco, they realized, okay, we can expand in the bigger cities.
That's right.
If it worked here, we can. So that's what my family is. They're like a beta test area.
That's right.
Like
That's right.
If it worked here, if it worked with these kids, it'll resound with the kids that are just like them. If it worked for these parents, it'll work for the parents that's just like them. So that was the whole thing. Once I figured out, all right, it'll work here, I knew, like, this will have a market as long as I can get it to them by Christmas. And yeah, and that's what I set out to do. And they're set up. I can't express that any more clearly. They're set up to do it. The way you're thinking about technology, or the way the listeners may be thinking about technology, it's not the way it used to be 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, it's so much easier. It's so much different. We have advanced so much in a short period of time that, yeah, whatever perceptions that you have about it, you're probably wrong. And don't let those things that you're probably wrong about stop you from producing. And one thing I did realize, if I can make this headset for $60 and make a profit, I can offer it $65 and make a profit. How much could Samsung could have made this thing for? Or how much did their cost?
Man, I'm going to tell you what's crazy about that, man. If you talk to folks who are in manufacturing and they actually release to you what the actual cost is versus what it's being sold for. I mean, you stop and you think about like a pair of Jordans. I think I was reading somewhere. A pair of Jordans cost like, $12 to manufacture? Something like that. But they're selling them for $250, $300. I mean, so you stop and you
it'll blow your mind.
And so to your point, I would even say to the fellas that are listening, even if you're not looking to create anything right now, just the whole premise of doing your research on manufacturing and understanding manufacturing costs, it will reshape your mind on how you buy things outside of, it'll reshape your mind on how you buy things. Like, for me personally, it's funny you talk about this because I'm thinking back to some of the things I do. I like to just scroll through Alibaba. Like, if you just go to Alibaba, which is basically it's a big consortium of manufacturers throughout the world that if you need anything manufactured, you can find it pretty much on Alibaba. But what's interesting, when you go to Alibaba, you can see the actual manufacturing cost of some of these items that you purchase end user, in your regular stores, here in America. And it's fascinating, but it's also kind of frustrating because then you realize that, that whatever product that I'm paying $50 for, I can buy, 1,000 units at $2 a piece via Alibaba. Yep. And it's fascinating when you see that, but it makes you really understand true cost. And
yeah, those fidget spinners cost $8, $7, but if you go on a website like Alibaba, AliExpress, yeah, those things cost $1 or less than that.
If you buy them in numbers, you probably get them for a quarter or 50 cents a piece if you buy in numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
But you realize that most things is branding. You actually pay for the name of the people you're supporting.
say that
And
again.
then
Say that again. Say that again. Most things are what?
are branding.
That's
you pay
right.
for the name of the people that you're supporting, and then you realize, like, if I'm paying for the name, like, do I really like them that much? Do I really? Yeah. Has Nike done anything for me lately? Like, have they started an after-school program in the hood, or like, do they do anything like? So what? So why then am I paying the up price? Why then am I supporting them enough to pay the up price? Like, maybe you should go and find somebody that manufactures, that's able to operate in the hood. And that's why, once again, that's an opportunity that I seem to feel. Once people come into that knowledge, which they soon will, like, it's impossible to hide it from them because of technology. Once they start to understand that, they will turn to the companies that are doing something or providing some kind of benefit to them. Like, you will realize, yeah, am I going to pay Samsung $120? Like, what have Samsung done for me besides overcharge me for a cell phone, overcharge me for the VR headset, overcharge me for a TV? Like, I understand that none of that costs that much, but somehow, like, they can order and they can get 10,000 pieces. So if they order in 10,000 pieces, you can just imagine what their actual price point is.
Right.
Like, but because they do this thing where they operate on market cost, what you're willing to pay for.
That's right.
That's what they operate off of.
Well, that's simple economics. You know, that's supply and demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Just like that dude with the AIDS medication. He raised the price of a specific AIDS medication up to $950 because he realized, like, that's what they'll pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have the opportunity to do that, and business actually shouldn't be run that way.
That's right.
That's what I perceived about it, that if I can make a profit at this point, because people told me, why don't you sell it for $100? You can sell it for $120. You can sell it for $125. You got the controller. You got the no. That eliminates the point. That makes me just like them. The fact that, like, you know.
So you said, so basically, yes, you could sell for 100, 120, or whatever, but that wasn't your initial goal anyway, right?
Nope. The goal was I knew what I needed. I knew what was satisfactory to me for profit. I knew what I needed or what would satisfy me to profit, and I priced it that way. Like, so for me to do anything else would be greed, and I would start operating the way they operated, which provided me the opportunity. No, let them continue to operate like that, and that'll give you the opportunity in any space you go to. Not only virtual reality, you can start looking at other electronics and all of these kind of things, and you can produce your own. You can produce your own line of electronics, which will always offer the same things that they offer, but you wouldn't operate like they operate.
Can I tell you what's so fascinating about what you just said there, man? To me, what's highlighted the core of whatever you're talking, the core of what you're talking about to me is service. Because at the end of the day, you initially started off with a niche, and your niche was your little cousins. All your little cousins kept wanting your VR headset, which basically hemmed your phone up when you were at your granny's house. And so to that point, it was like, I need to figure out a way for them to have the same experience at a price point that they could afford. That is my niche. That's what I was looking to serve. But I wanted to do so in a high quality fashion. And so to that point, you're serving, you're holding true to that notion of service, and you're serving who it is you intended to serve, which initially was your cousins, but then you realize the market is a lot bigger than your family. And so
absolutely,
I commend that thought process, my man, because at the end of the day, like you mentioned, the moment that you start changing things up and going for the highest dollar that you can get for this particular product, you no longer are operating with the same motive, the same intention, or the same inspiration. it's now something different. And that, to me, will probably taint your business model. But by you holding true to who you are, brother, the sky is the limit, man. And it's not even a limit there. This is wild. I love it, man.
I seen a quote today. I think it was by Taraji P. Henson or something. She said, "The sky not the limit. That's just the view. Like that's as far as we could just see. Like that's just the view that we got." So no, that's absolutely true. And so it just gave me the ability to operate, and I knew like you can never abandon that. Like people used to tell me like, "Oh man, your product's gonna be the stuff once you get the the white kids to play with it and everything. Once you get it in the white neighborhoods." It was like, no, you guys are missing the entire point of this. Like it is enough of us and everything that if all of us just supported me, like I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't discriminate against them or nothing like that, but they're not my measure of success. Like my measure of success is getting it to the people that don't have like the access to it. And it's enough of those people. It's enough of those people who wouldn't have access to it rather than competing against, because what you'll recognize about that, the people that can afford Jordans, they pride themselves in being able to buy them. Like, I spend $120 on my shoes. I spend $500 on my shoes. Like, y'all not the dudes that actually want my stuff. Y'all don't want a deal. Like, y'all want the bragging rights of saying that you paid what you paid for. And you get more respect. You get more respect when you offer it to the kid that, rather than me walking up and giving you a pair of shoes and you can afford your own shoes. How about I walk up and get a dude with no shoes? Him. Here you go. Now you can have shoes. Like, you can have shoes just like him. And that would be more beneficial. That would be more successful in my heart, just based on how I was operating. Yeah. And
I got a question, man. Like, when you talk that, man, to me, your inspiration is so much deeper. There's something there that is like driving your inspiration to really have a true heart for, for folks that don't have, to give to those, to provide opportunities for those. What is like at the core of your inspiration when it comes to all that stuff? Like, what is the driving force there? Is it something from your experience? I mean, is it a belief system? I mean, what is it that drives you to think like that, man? I love that. What is it?
I mean, I grew up in Inglewood. If anybody knows, I went to Inglewood High School. I live in South Central. But I come from a two-parent home. My father is a preacher. My mom has always worked. So my grandfather was a business owner. I've always been like, all right. I've always been well off. But like I told you, I got a big family. So not only do I got little cousins, I got a lot of cousins my age. And then I got older cousins over me. I was always surrounded, I always went to public school and everything. I was always surrounded by people that weren't necessarily as fortunate or in like, a situation as I was. They weren't afforded certain luxuries based off of that, not because they didn't deserve them, not because they weren't smart enough or did enough. Like, it was just simply like the circumstances of where like people out here, like, they come from. And I needed something, like, I think I told you this the first time we talked. I needed something for my, like, I always wanted something that my daughter could, like, be with me doing. She could be proud of me doing. Like, I mean,
I love
making money is, I mean, that's cool in terms of success and business and everything. But so far as, it always inspired me when people got fan mail. You don't get fan mail for overcharging people. You don't get that stuff for, like, for capitalizing on people. You get that kind of stuff for helping people out. You get that from servicing people, and for them knowing, like, had not it been for Flip, I wouldn't have knew what virtual reality was. And if you don't and if you never experienced virtual reality, And if that's where technology is going, if that's where this world is heading to, then you surely ain't going to create something inside of technology. You're surely not going to be able to create an app or an experience or whatever. And if you late, if you are a year and a half behind, then by the time you get to experience it, the industry is settled in. We got our content creators, we got everything, like, and now you can just experience it. Nah. We still at the beginning stages of virtual reality, which gives them the opportunity. Y'all can create. Y'all can be on the forefront of a industry that has not even tapped into certain markets. So that was big for me too, is to offer them the experience so that y'all can create. And if one of y'all create an app and go back, you will remember, like, I got a headset when I was little from this guy, or my mom bought it from this guy, and from there it sparked an interest for me to go into this or to do this. And yeah, that's one of the biggest motivators, is to know that you somehow, it's say you must, like, to be a leader, like, to be the greatest leader, you gotta serve. Like,
that's
you gotta
right.
serve.
It's all about service.
You gotta be a servant. It ain't all about, like, just, I don't know. And it always bothered me how business happens, like how business is operated and how cutthroat it is. And we all, I know this, at the core of it, we all believe that it don't have to be like that. But somehow, right, when you get into it, you just conform. Oh, well, they making money, I might as well. Like, you can, like, I'm not preaching to not make money. I'm not preaching to not, practice good economics. What I am preaching is to not conform to the way they do things. Like, you can be blessed with doing things like how your heart tells you to do them. Like, right, I can move in that space. And you asked about a belief system. Yeah, in order for me to, I can't separate the two. I can't believe in something and then go after something else in a certain way. Especially if I'm asking you to bless it. Especially if I'm asking for your help to progress in this. Like, I can't do it in a way that you wouldn't do it if, like, I'm going to go about it this way. Like, if you're going to bless it, you're going to bless it just like this. And, yeah, you got the power to. I know you can move in this. If I do it like that, I'm going at it all by myself. I'm going at it the way, and I got to look to the world to help me. I got to look for people to fund me. I got to go do a angel round and get investors and all of that. I don't got to do that if I go about it this way. Yeah, if I
it's funny you mentioned. It's funny from a world's perspective, you go and get an angel round. By you going the route that you're talking about, you get the real angel round.
Say,
dig it.
The people is my angel round. They my funders.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
And the world don't believe in that. They don't. But they believe in getting the money at the WAP, the first WAP, then you release. Like, nah. I ain't asking people to GoFundMe. I ain't asking people to kickstart me. What I am asking is that y'all buy this product, and with the return, with the profit that I get, I'll continue to do what I do, and that'll kickstart me. But, like, yeah, you don't got to just give money to me and then I'll do something. Like, no, here you go, take this. You give me some money for it. You take this, and I'll do the right thing with the money, and I'll continue to make it happen. And I believe I can do that. Like, I don't need to go about it the other way.
And what's interesting, you continue to make it happen, but what I will say from just following you online and just our interactions so far, and we're going to continue these interactions, brother, because I'm impressed with you, and I feed off of this. I feed off of your energy, my man. And you are doing the right thing, but you're also inspiring the next generation to do the right thing. And so that's what's so powerful to me, man, especially, fellas, with the whole premise of Black Fathers Now. It's like we have to build bridges to the next generation. We have to create opportunities for them to walk across these bridges, not so that they can come and do exactly like we do, but take what we've done and add to it. Like, I don't think it would be interesting if you could go and talk to former leaders like the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X, the Marcus Garveys, the Mahatma Gandhis. I mean, if you can go and talk to these former leaders and really talk to them now after, years after their passing, and just kind of ask them, what exactly is your future goal for your platform that you were doing 40 or 50 years ago? Like, what is it that you want? I would assume that virtually every last one of them would say that I don't want y'all to just do what I did. I want y'all to take what I did and advance this particular platform. And so,
absolutely.
Yeah, so what you're doing, my brother, is all about creating a platform that now the younger generation, and what's so empowering or so powerful is that it's the generation or the demographic of kids who might not have had exposure to this particular technology. You're exposing them to something, and who knows, one of these kids might be the next one to create the next big thing.
Exactly.
And you're opening up that window, my man. And like
exactly.
you just mentioned, that's how you create real fan mail. Dig.
Yep.
I like that.
I'm still waiting on my fan mail. I'll be getting my DMs and everything, and my supporters. I don't like calling followers. The supporters, they really keep me going in a sense, because they do let you know, like, we see you, man. Mm-hmm. We see you. And we see the need for you, so just keep going, and that's super important to me, for me to operate the way I operate, for me to continue to do what I'm supposed to do. Even now, like, I'm throwing this event called the Dart War, and that came about from me just popping up on Saturdays at my granny house or whatever. And all my cousins just sitting around not doing nothing. Like, it's Saturday, what y'all doing? Like, no, we just playing with each other, like, sitting here. We're going to walk to the wash house in a second. Like, yeah, I for my birthday, I went out and bought like 40-something Nerf guns or whatever, and bought a bunch of bullets and the eyewear and everything. And it was like, look, we're gonna have a battle. We're gonna have a battle, and a strategic little thing. I'm gonna set up little obstacles in the back where we can hide behind and shoot. And yeah, we did that a couple of times, and it was like, I need to do this once again. I need to do this for the community. If these kids enjoy this, then on a bigger scale, like the other kids in the community, it's a bunch of kids in the community that's probably not doing nothing, and they'll enjoy this.
The Dart War.
Yeah, so then it was like, all right, I secured a big old like 5,000 square foot parking lot, and next month we're gonna have our first like community one. And a big thing about that was, I can't charge people to get in. Like, I can't charge people. Like, I built these arcade stations and everything. Everything is coming out of my own pocket. I'm buying the weapons. I'm doing everything out of my own pocket. And it's like, yeah, everybody wants you to monetize. Everybody wants you to capitalize in a certain way. And, like, I can't do that if I say this is what I stand for. If I say this is what I stand for, I got to stand on something. Like, what I can do is offer people the ability to give donations. That means if a lady come with 5 kids, I ain't going to charge her $10 to get in here just because I paid for the guns. I paid for the thing. Like, I paid for the electricity. I got to recoup my money. Like, nah, you said you was doing this for the community, brother.
That's right. You're doing it for the community. That's right.
Straight up. So, yeah, you can offer people the ability to give donations, but nothing is mandatory. If this lady come with 5 kids and she don't got it, like, she's still getting them 5 kids in
That's
here,
right.
And they still gonna be able to pick up a gun and run around with the rest of these kids and have some fun or whatever. So just the entire premise of that. And yes, eventually that may become, this guy wants to start one in Indiana. He wants to actually start a location for where it is like a Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, something like that. That's completely fine with me, and we can work on that. But so far as what I'm doing, what I said I was going to do for these
kids, it's a community event.
Yeah, and what I told these people their money would go to. That's the whole thing. It's just like when Tom said, if you buy a pair of shoes from me, I'll go donate a pair of shoes to somebody over that don't got no shoes.
So you said, so basically, so when somebody goes to the website, pretty much when they buy Fliptendo or anything from Fliptendo Electronics, this is where the money's going.
I have to be doing something that shows you that, yeah, my money goes back into the community. And if enough of y'all shop with me, I can put money into the community and I can provide for myself. But while we're starting, while this is in its infant stage, is like I won't abandon my core because this is what it's built on. Even when it gets bigger, even once it becomes a multi-million-dollar company, we're still going to do this.
That's right.
We might not spend all the money, all the multi-millions throwing these events and stuff, but in order to build a solid foundation, that's the most important thing about building anything. I work with building, so I know that is building a strong foundation. So, and you don't abandon the foundation just because like the walls got to be built. Like, no, brother, you better finish this foundation first.
We got to park right there because, fellas, y'all just heard some wisdom. He was talking about business, but he was also, to me, that really applies to life. That applies to us, our spouses, our kids. That applies to life, man. When you think about the whole premise of foundation, and what he said a minute ago was, I don't care what else is going on, you cannot abandon the foundation. So when it comes to our lives, when it comes to our spouse, our wives, our fiancés, our girlfriend, whatever your relationship is, and when it comes to your children, you cannot abandon your foundation. That's where everything is built on. Y'all listen to this. Flip drops. He's dropping jewels all evening, man. Like this is real, man. You cannot abandon your foundation, no matter what you do. I want y'all to let that sink in. You cannot abandon your foundation. And when we think about folks that that have uber success in various sectors, a lot of times they stayed true. First off, they built their foundation, but they stayed true to their foundation. That brother, man. Woo.
They say don't put the buggy before the horse.
That's
like
right.
you got don't put the buggy before the horse. No matter how emergency it looked like. No matter how much it seemed like I need to focus on this now. I need to focus on maximizing my profits. Like, no, don't put that in front of what you said. You stood for, and everything has to hang on that, or eventually it's gonna fall. That's what the Bible say that. What man builded his house on, one man built it on sand. What man built his house on sand, and he said, yeah, because when the winds come the rains come, that house gonna end up decimated. That house gonna end up falling. But if you take your time and you find you a stone and you build that house on stone, no matter what comes, when the winds come, when the rains come, you're going to look up and your house still going to be standing. So that's the thing. Although I come from where I come from, I still need to build my house on stone. I can't look at other people's situations and their success and decide I'm gonna build my house on sand so I can get it up faster. Nope. Nope.
Be strong and hold true to your convictions. Now I got a question. So now, kind of fast forward to now. So now you've been in business roughly 8 months or so, right? 8-9 months. Yeah. So talk to us now. Give us a snapshot of where Fliptendo Electronics is now. What you got going on? Any new products? Anything that's going on? Are you currently promoting the VR headset and the remote or the controller? I mean, talk to us a little bit about what's currently going on with Fliptendo Electronics.
All right. So yes, the VR headset, the remote is still available. I sold out of that. I never got to that point. I sold out in less than 30 days. Once I got my first shipment, it was gone in less than 30 days. So I was actually able to get my money back and make a profit and have to reorder. I had people waiting for man, when they coming back, when you gonna get some more? So I happened to reorder that. And just from then, I've been learning on the job. You you know, I started it so fast and everything, and it's just certain lessons. It's certain lessons that you learn, and if you're anything like me, like I can't stay on one idea long enough. Like, all right, that idea got legs, like it
Uh-huh.
got feet, it can stand on its own. The VR thing is fine. People know about it. Like, what I'm gonna do next? Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, am I gonna create my own gaming system? Am I going in this direction? Am I going? So so the months has been built like, you know, learning about new stuff, using technology to build my own websites, to decide. One thing I did figure out was out of that first shipment, um, everybody that bought the headset, out of everybody that bought it, only one person actually knew what it was before they bought it.
Wow.
Only one person knew, like, all right, yeah, I got a VR headset. I'm just buying this for my little cousin. Everybody else, it needed to be explained to them, like, this is a virtual reality headset. This
Mm-hmm.
is your phone. Like, put your phone in it. It's
Wow.
a 360 environment. Like, they needed to be taught that, and that's our community. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't understand virtual reality, so I had to teach them. And what I was realizing was I was selling these virtual reality headsets, but then I would have to recommend them apps to go download. And it was like, why don't you create your own app? Why
Oh
don't you
wow.
create your own content so that you don't have to point them to somebody else? Like,
Mm.
not only do you have hardware, you can now get into the software.
That's
And
right.
then I realized all it took was you. I mean, I do 3D modeling at work, so I know I can create a 3D environment. So it was like, all right, now where do you go? Do you create an animated 3D environment, or do you buy a 360 camera, which
Mm-hmm.
they now have that record in 360 degrees, and now it then became working with people like my homeboys and stuff to like, man, if y'all shoot music videos, like, why don't y'all have the first virtual reality music video? Like,
Oh
why don't y'all
wow.
give the like,
Wow.
why don't y'all give the people like that's the highest user experience. That's why Instagram Live and Facebook Live and Periscope. That's why all of these things have success. People want to feel like they with you.
That's
Like
right.
people want to feel like they next to you. Like so to actually like to figure out that all it takes is a camera, like a 3D camera, and like a platform like you can give people the opportunity to DJs that be doing those big old festivals and everything. Everybody want to be next to the DJ booth. Like, just why don't y'all have that in y'all repertoire? Why don't y'all have a
Mm.
360 camera in y'all repertoire to where people, after you get done with shows, like experience this with me rather than trying to show them the video on 2D. So just all of those ideas and just trying to find time for everything.
Mm.
My website has not only does it have my flagship, what I would call my flagship products, which is the VR headset and and the controller and this thing that I call a control pad. Nintendo came out with their Switch, and as we know, the Switch costs $250,
Mm-hmm.
$300. Once again, like the kids wasn't gonna be able to get them, so it was like I mean, if y'all just, I can give y'all something. I can show y'all a piece of existing technology that exists to where if you just want a handheld device, like with the controllers with updated gaming, like yeah, you might not be able to afford the Nintendo Switch, and they are sold out everywhere. Like here you go, man. This one is 119, and it's a fully like when you're done playing, it's still a tablet. Like you can still use it as a regular
Wow.
tablet.
Multifunction.
You
Multifunction.
Ex- exactly, and just trying to educate the people on. That's what I that's what I realized opening this, that our community is technologically lagging. Like
Mm.
we're a couple steps behind, and whereas y'all want to understand the new and emerging technology, like it's existing technology that's out that y'all don't even know about. Like
Mm.
that's just skipping straight over y'all. That's just going straight over y'all head, especially for the kids. Um, you're gonna save some money because it's all about experiences.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I need the latest thing. Like I want to experience it like everybody else is
Mm-hmm.
experiencing or on that level. So I knew that if you can offer the experience to the people at a lower price, they would take the experience. Like, yeah,
That's real.
my little cousins, my little cousins will sit on the control pad. They'll sit on the control pad and play that thing, and have no problems with it. Only because, like, bro, unless I bring a Nintendo Switch over here, y'all not gonna be able to play it. Like, y'all won't get to experience that right now. Like, it'll probably take, once again, another year, another 2 years for y'all to get to experience that on y'all level. So in the meantime and in between time, like, I'm gonna show y'all how to utilize existing technologies to get the same or a similar experience than what you waiting on. Like, it's enough of a waiting period.
That's right. We ain't gotta wait.
Yeah, we don't.
It's here. It's ready to go. We just gotta. But you know what though? I think it takes brothers like yourself to inspire us to just get out there and use it. So I commend you, brother. Like, I mean, your platform, your journey, your story, just the whole premise of just taking the bull by the horns and capitalizing on opportunities that are currently present, serving a niche, but also holding true to your niche, holding true to who it is you're trying to serve, and being confident in that, having enough faith to be confident in the abilities that you've been blessed with, the gifts that you have, the experiences that you've had, matching your passions and your gifts together, jumbling them up, creating something that's amazing. Dude, you're making a mark in the world, and I'm proud to say that you are a black father as well, because at the end of the day, this is what we need to see. This is what we need to hear, because we also have to do a lot of work on our PR side to help to restructure or reshape the narrative of us. And so that's why it's so important to have brothers like yourself come on and talk about amazing things, amazing technology, but then also highlight the fact that the possibility is there. So I commend you, my brother, man. You just keep up the good work. And I got to ask you one more thing. This is the Black Fathers Now. How has all of this impacted you as a father?
I mean, sometimes it get a little hard, because you get a little busy. You get a little busy, and you got a vision, and you're trying to complete your vision. And my daughter, my family is totally that's what keep you going. Like, I know I'm going to build a better life and just a better place, a better space for you existing in than I would if I worked on my 9 to 5 every day, and I would have to ask permission to come to your graduation. I got to ask permission. I got to ask somebody, is it okay if I go to my daughter's graduation? Is it okay if I make a doctor's appointment? Is it okay? Like, like, at some point, like, that has to end. Like, that has to be over. Like, it's impossible for me to continue like that. So, yeah, there are some times where you get a little occupied and everything, but it's very important to me that, like, yeah, it's balance. It's about spending the time with your family and doing that stuff. And then, yeah, now I got to stay up to 2 a.m. working on something. Now I got to stay up to 1 a.m. figuring this thing out, because, yeah, one day it won't have to be like that, but it will be like that if I just remain complacent. If I remain, like, if I just came home and spend some time with my daughter, now it's time to go to sleep, and I got to wake up tomorrow, and that keeps me comfortable. That keeps everything fine. Like, yeah, but how long can that last? Can that go for 15 years? Can that go for 20 years? And it's a misconception that, oh man, you're an entrepreneur, but everybody don't got that in them. Everybody should have that in them. Everybody should. Everybody can have the ability to have. Some days I go to work, I'm sitting at work, and 3 people might buy a headset. In that hour, in that space and time, I just made more money than my boss. And he's sitting right next to me, but he doesn't have a passive income. He probably make more hourly than I do, but it's no way he could beat me like that. And it's not about beating me. It's then now, how can I do that? How can I make money in my sleep? Like when I'm sleeping, like somebody orders something. When I'm at work, somebody orders something. And then how do I build that up? When I build a strong enough foundation, I can then walk off of that place and be completely. It's not like I'm not busy once I don't have a job. It's
That's
not
right.
like I don't have to do things that I have to keep up. Like I just now am in control, complete
That's
control of
it.
time.
You're in control of your time, and then you also have the flexibility and the ability to do what's important and do what matters to you. And like you mentioned before, your family matters to you, just like my family matters to me. So that's why we strive and we struggle and we make it happen so that we can get to a place where we can do what we are called to do in life versus what somebody's telling us to do in life. So, brother, this
Because if I don't do that, then I can't help the community. Like
there
that,
you go.
it means so much to me. Like that's seriously a passion of mine to help these little kids to reshape the way, like just even my age and people older than me and people younger than me, the way we think about like, supporting black businesses, the way we think about unifying and putting our money together and different things like, yeah, if I just completely donated my time to going to work and everything, like I would do my community a disservice. Like I would literally do these kids a disservice if I had not done the Nerf war, if I had not offered them the VR headset, if I just remained complacent. Like it's just certain things that wouldn't get done in my community, and it's easy to sit on the sideline and say, "Oh, somebody else gonna do it," or like it's gonna happen. Like, no, you feel that way. Like that's a passion of yours. That's something that you see that needs to happen. So like that's on you. Like that's a responsibility of yours. And yes, it can get hard sometimes because some people don't necessarily see it as your responsibility. But when you go to sleep at night,
That's right.
or it's a picture that I keep in my phone, and it's a picture of the inside of a grave, and it's just looking up at the sky, and you can see like the dirt walls, and you can see like the little cutout where they didn't dug it, and you just see the sky, and it's like, when you get to this place, what will you regret not doing? Like, what will you be thinking? Like, what will you feel in this like place? And the thing that I would most feel if I was there and I just worked my job, like, damn, I never tried to do that. I never, like, I knew I could. I knew how to do it, but like something in this life made me give up to like and accept what was given to me. Accept being like, and that's what they say, you either are an entrepreneur or you work for one. Simple as that. Simple as that. You either are an entrepreneur or you work for somebody that has taken that step to own their own company, and now they have employees, and now they can employ you for 8 hours of your time, 10 hours of your time. They can mandatory overtime you. They can tell you have to be here this long. And yeah, you either accept that and work for that, and no knocks to nobody that has to work their job, to have to provide and put food on the table. Not knocking you, but you have to look for a way out. You have to look for some way to create a passive income to where this job, no job defines you.
That's
no
right.
job defines. It provides you the opportunity to do stuff. And one of those opportunities, is to like identify a problem, solve a problem, and sell the answer to other people that got similar problems.
Brother.
Straight up.
That's straight up. And I guess to end this thing, man, like how do folks get in touch with you, man? Like what's the best way for the fellas, the ladies, anybody listening to check out Flip? Like what's the best way to get in touch with you, man?
Man, if you got Instagram, that's the only social media platform I'm actively on. Is my Instagram. So it's Flip the Hood Technologist. And I know it's hard. It's underscores in there. So it's underscores in between every word. So it's Flip underscore the underscore hood underscore technologist.
And I'll have that in the show notes, fellas and ladies. So don't
Oh,
don't worry about having to remember it. Flip the Hood Technologist. It'll be in the show notes, so you'll be able to click on it and go directly to his Instagram.
absolutely. And there's 3 websites you can go to check out what I'm doing. We have FlipTendoElectronics.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's my website for the products and the other electronics. We have dartwarla.com. That's for the events for the children and everything. We got the pictures up, and we're gonna have the pictures from the new event and everything. You can subscribe so you can get the updates and things. And then there's one more website that I would like people to look into, and that's 99 plus plus the number 1 EE 2 E's .org. And that's just me gathering a group of 50 brothers and sisters, and for 3 months we give $100, and after 3 months we'll have $15,000 to operate with. We then can invest that, get us a product that we own. We can then take some of that money and put it in the marketing, and we can start creating and yeah, we can own products, and we can get our own return on investment. We can invest in products that we believe in as Black owned and stuff like that. So it's all about empowering. It's all about it's group economics. And that's not a principle I invented, but it's a principle that we somehow lost.
There you go. We lost it.
Yeah. So for your $300, you actually, over 3 months, that's $100 a month. For your $300, you actually get a say-so in what we do with $15,000. And if you listen to the story, yeah, it cost me under $5,000 to get my first shipment of Fliptendo VRs.
Wow.
So I owned the product for less than $5,000. And if we did that same thing, we identified a problem, we solved it, we got us a product, and I sold out in under 30 days, and it was only me pushing it. Can you imagine if it was 50 brothers and sisters behind it pushing a item that they produced or they have equity in? And we could continue to do that over and over and over again until we disrupted every industry, until we interrupted every industry. And yes, we can get a return on investment. We can start investing in stuff like the Bitcoins and stuff like that we feel left out of, and that your $300 might not give you access to. It's no way you could buy some Bitcoin with $300, but now
your 15,000 will.
If you're part of the organization, now you own a portion of us being able to make those type of decisions. So yeah, just those 3 websites. Look into those, and if you want to contact me, DM me. Any of those contact information things on the websites, they come directly to me. So if you send a message through Fliptendo Electronics through that messaging center, it'll come directly to me. And I answer all of my direct messages. I look at all of my direct messages. And if you're trying to start, if you got an idea or whatever, I don't charge for my time yet. You know,
not yet. Yeah.
And as of now, I'll empower anybody to create their own idea. This girl actually, she said, I got an idea, but I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to steal it, because I know you know how to do it. And it's like, I'll never steal your idea. Like, I'll more so empower you and show you the tools that you need, the websites you need to use, the apps you need to download to then produce your idea. And I don't got no problem with that. I don't have no problem with that. So if you got an idea based on what you heard today, you can definitely reach out to me. I'll walk you through it, man. I'll walk you through it, sister. If you just need some help to figure it out. And I realize that'll help me in the long run. The more successful people I know, the more successful I'll become. So yeah, I don't got no problem with people getting bigger than me or having more of an audience than me or blowing up faster than me. I would pray that for you. I would hope that for you. And the minute that happens, we then could, connect together and utilize each other to be greater. I don't just want to inspire the kids, although those are who I'm targeting. That's who I'm gonna teach. Those are easier to not manipulate, but to teach them a new way of doing.
That's right.
Up. Absolutely. So yeah, if anybody wants to reach out, DM me, send me a message. We can communicate. Not a problem.
Fellas, Tupac said, "It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none."
Straight up.
Dig it. And I'm going to tell you, man, Flip just laid it out there, man. This brother comes from a place, his heart is pure. And that's something that you don't see all the time. But when you do see that, you want to make sure that you highlight that. This brother's heart is pure. His intentions are in the right place. And he's coming to inspire not just the next generation, but the current generation and those that have already come. If you're wanting to be inspired, reach out to my man. I'm going to have all of his contact information in the show notes, all 3 websites, his Instagram feed. Definitely. Y'all get with him, connect with him, ask him a question. When he says he'll walk you through the process, literally, the way that he and I connected was through the DM. What they say, it goes down in the DM? Literally, man, I connected with him through the DM. We went back and forth. We talked on the phone a little bit. And I'm just like, brother, I got to get you on and share your story, man. So I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, man, to come on and inspire, the fellow black fathers and just anybody, because it's more than just black fathers that listen to the podcast, but just inspiring with your story. And I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Hold on to your niche. Hold on to your core. Don't ever let that slip because, brother, you're on to something, man. And any way that we can support, you just say the word and we got you.
I appreciate it, man. And I thank you for your platform. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to expand. I don't take that lightly. And just one last thing I would leave to the people is, if you got an idea, if you got something that you think you can do or you think is out of your reach, you're probably wrong about it. You're probably wrong. I remember I had an idea. They told me the first person I reached out to, it was like, it's going to be $34,000. And then I figured, I did more digging. And it was going to cost me some thousands to do it, maybe $2,000-$3,000. And so, your first attempt, it might seem impossible, but just with a little research with technology, it can happen. So, my last message is support black businesses or not, or don't do it. And we won't switch and we won't change nothing. But if you want to see a change, like it start with us, it start within our community and we can make it happen. We can definitely do it.
I'll change a little bit to that. It's not we can make it happen. We will make it happen. So
there we go. There we go. I like that.
Speak it up. Speak it up. Speak it up. Well, fellas, man, as always, y'all follow Black Fathers Now on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Visit blackfathersnow.com. This episode is also brought to you by BlackFamilyApparel.com, where we're celebrating the black family. So grab some dynamic apparel that celebrates the black family at BlackFamilyApparel.com. And fellas, ladies, I know you're listening too, but fellas, until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and I'll holler at you. Peace. Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always, always, always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.